from the same place as trap music. This that first react music. They can't hold me back. I'm feeling good cause I'm black music. Can't nobody touch this. My flow, I can't rush this. Put them on silence when I'm talking. You should hush, bitch. I am from the heavy base. My bro called a heavy case. Got a couple.
Good evening, and welcome back to another episode of Cigar Sundays Live, where we define, examine, and analyze words, sayings, and phrases used in American culture. And tonight, we will be smoking on the word consideration. So grab your thinking caps and get ready to smoke on words with two big nerds, with myself, DB Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV, and the God Ali Dawood L at BK Soul Farm, and we are the Cigarden Panel. Peace, God. How you feeling?
Peace, God. What you dealing with, man? I'm good on this end.
Yeah, you know, we was talking in the back chat. Homes on homes, homes on homes on homes. You know, doing a whole bunch of stuff, trying to beautify some things, make some things look good. Thankful for another Sunday as always. Got to wake up this morning, be positive, productive, and and very peaceful. So that brought the peace.
How's your weather up there?
Rain, go away.
Same.
rain, go away.
Which is good for the crops, but bad.
Yeah,
like,
good for the grass. Good for the grass.
I hate the grass. I call it crops. I cover my grass with black-eyed peas and watermelons and pumpkin and all that. I don't like it.
It's all green. It's all green. Yeah. But definitely. Yeah, I ain't even go out there and tend to the lawn. I've been so focused on
inside.
On the inside, getting everything together. But it's coming along. If it breaks, see, I don't like to work in the grass when it's wet. You know, so I prefer it to be dry, all the way dried out. You know, but we'll get outside when the weather's permissive, because we definitely ain't doing nothing in the rain.
So, unfortunately, I gotta go out there. Hell yeah, like because you know I got animals, I got things I got to do, and it's outside the house. So
yeah, well, if you own animals, you got to tend to your livestock.
Got to tend to the livestock, right? You got to go out there and weather the storm, right? If you want to keep looking and breathing, right? Because that is my food out there.
That part, right? Or you can go get a biggie bag, and you get a biggie bag, and you get a big bag. Let me stop. Let me have some consideration, because it's a recession out here, so that's all some folks can afford. You know, but
folks ain't acting like it's a recession.
They not. What you see?
I don't know. I see everybody. I don't know. I don't see anybody. I don't see too many people looking to preserve and save and stack and actually learn something that's going to be useful later. Right? Like I see a lot of people. I see like the same old scams, right? Like people teaching, sign up for my class and I can teach you how to be smart. You know, you gotta do is just sign up. Like everybody's teaching classes, ain't nobody actually doing anything to actually save their own ass, right? Like it's a whole lot of pontificate. I don't know, man. It's just
when nobody thinks about getting old.
I don't know why. Like we got grandmothers and grandfathers and and
I see that loss from a lot of younger people. What's that Drake song? What Drake made popular? You only live once.
That was Drake, YOLO.
Yeah. So like
that was Drake.
You know, so like I see that mindset being very more prevalent.
That's what I'm saying.
And when you get set in that mindset, then it tends to let you get old and have a whole lot of either one or two things: regret
Hmm.
that you didn't use your time more effectively, or you just double down on the shit and be like, fuck it, I don't care anyway, you know?
Ornery, ornery. Yeah, now
Yeah,
you
yeah,
on.
that's like, you know what? Like, fuck it, I don't care anyway, you know? Like, I did
Yeah.
what the fuck I wanted to do. Yeah, 'cause I got homeboys like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I be trying to
I live
holler
my
at them,
life. I live my life. Yeah.
you know, I be trying to holler at them and be like, "Bro, like, you could do something different," you know? Because the worst thing to do is get old and be broke, you know? That's the worst thing to do is to get
Eh,
old and be broke.
yeah, you only get less capable as you get older, right? Like it just that you if you don't have nothing saved up, nothing prepared for when your body is not as able, right? It's gonna be a long day.
Yeah, old and broke ain't cool, you know? And I've seen a lot of people in my time wake up at 50 like, "Oh, I ain't did shit with my life." Or wake up at 60, "Damn, I ain't say nothing, I ain't do nothing." You know, they didn't learn about their 401ks. They didn't learn about all this stuff that they was hoping and wishing that they was gonna have. You know, their relationships didn't work out when they was counting on somebody else to carry the weight, you know. So it'd be a lot of reasons why, you know, ignorance is bliss.
Mhm.
But it also is a lot of reasons to why to be like you said, like focus on doing some things. Like you might just get old.
Yeah.
You know, you might just live to 90. And I'm like, has anybody, but somebody may have never said to a young person, well, what if you get 90? What if you get 65? All right. What do you want your life to look like then? And are you doing anything now to make that a possibility?
Word.
Are you considering the time that you have now to invest into yourself, to be able to manifest that, to be able to have that? Possibly, you know, because I know shit. I know it works for me. You know, I know it damn sure works for me. So we not planning on, I'm like, yes, that's a fact, what Drake was saying. But you might get old though. And that's all part of that once. So if y'all just joining us tonight, make sure to like and share this video. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so when we go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays Live. Remember, we got links in the description, and we appreciate it if y'all just like the video. Just give us a like. It's the freest thing you can do to support the channel. The freest thing. If you don't want to go and get some merch, you don't want to go and get any of the great things we have, the literature that we have available for you, then hit the like button. We appreciate that. We appreciate y'all for that. So tonight, y'all, we are smoking on the word consideration. And what we're going to do here is bring up our 3 questions that we shape our conversation around the word. So tonight's questions around our word consideration are: number 1, what do you think of when you hear the word consideration? That is our house question. We ask, what do you think of when you hear the word that we smoking on every single show? Because in American culture, we have a lot of meanings to things, and people don't typically use their computer in their hand, aka a cell phone, mobile phone, whatever you want to call it, to define anything. You know, a lot of times you ask Siri to define it or Alexa to define it, but a lot of times people don't ask for the definition. They be like, "What do this mean? What does it mean?" And there's a difference between a meaning and a definition. And we're going to get into the definition of consideration. Our second question this evening is, what are some common misconceptions about consideration? What are some common misconceptions about consideration? Let us know in the comment section what you think, what some misconceptions are. And our third and final question of the evening will be, what are some ways a person can demonstrate consideration in daily life? Some people may need to add a little bit more consideration to their personality repertoire. You know, they may not they may not have it. It may not be, they may be lacking a little bit. They may be a little consideration deficient. And maybe they need to bulk up a little bit on it. So we're gonna go ahead and get into our first question of the evening. What do you think of when you hear the word consideration? Let us know in the comment section. The God Ali Dawu L at BK Soul Farm. What you think, God?
Hey, so
Peace,
so the so consideration is huge for me, right? The very first thing that I think of when I think about consideration is remembering that I'm dealing with another human being, right? Meaning that everything that I'm going through in life, right? Like they are also dealing with their own version of that in their own life, right? So, well, if I'm having an issue, or if I'm bringing my problem to my brother, right? It is only considerate of me to think that, you know what, can my brother handle this problem? Like, did I do my part on my end first to make sure that I'm good, right? Or am I just being lazy and just running for help because things got hard real quick? Like, what does he have on his end that he got to go through? Like, it just think about we just don't think about the other person as being a human, only as being a resource for right now, right? And in that is either you can help me or you cannot help me. And if you can help me, then I love you and thank you. And if you can't help me, then fuck you and you ain't never been shit anyway, right?
Mm.
Is the attitude. Maybe those are not the words or the real
If that's how they acting, it's real.
well
if that's how they act, you don't have to say, fuck
well,
you to act
yeah,
like fuck you.
I'm trying to have
You don't have to say it. Your
I'm
actions can
trying
be
I'm
reflective of it.
I'm trying to have consideration.
For the people saying fuck you.
Right? Like,
For the people saying, well, you ain't helped me get here. Like,
right? And
come
and
on.
so and I would say, yeah, right, because I need to take in and actually look at, like, for me personally, I'm looking at how you deal with disappointment, right? Like, are you gonna throw a tantrum? Are you safe to be around? Like, are you a problem solver or just a problem, right? Um, the second thing I think about is in thinking that we forget that we're dealing with another human who's dealing with their own life issues, right? Is that we just have a total lack of thought about anybody besides ourselves.
Like a mindset, like that's your problem. That's
That's your
not
problem.
mine.
Yeah, right. Like, who cares? It
Like,
come like
who
come like
cares that you got a problem with that? Even if I'm causing it, who cares if you got a
yeah,
problem
even
with
if
that?
I'm causing
That you
it,
have a problem with it.
that's
I
your
don't.
problem.
Yeah, no consideration.
No consideration, right? Like, it's just a bunch of things. It's like the Karens that go out of their way to interfere with people to find out if they are law abiding or not. Like the reality that they themselves are breaking the law in the first place. Infringing on somebody's private swing zone, or they space. Like, you just can't encroach on people. Like the person has the right to call the police on them for harassment and stuff like that, but it don't go like that. Um, Probably should, like, start calling the police on these people, man. Just I'm being harassed.
I'm being harassed, right? I mean, but when the law states it, when it's clearly in the law, you know, the actions that are being exemplified, like, then you have every right to, when it's in the law, if you choose to. I always look at it like, you can have some consideration and say, is that how we want to have our relationship? You know, like is that going to be productive? Is that going to be positive? Or does that just create chaos, because now any little thing that happens, somebody feel like they got to call the police because they don't have the ability to communicate
Correct.
effectively, you know? So typically you see that with niggas, you know? You don't see that with mature adults, with grown men and grown women, with people who say, you know what, we need to just have a conversation and work this shit out. Usually you see that with people, and when I say niggas, I'm talking about people thinking on a low frequency operating people, where it's just like, I need to call the police. I'm gonna get you locked up. I'm gonna get you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like be careful what you wish on somebody, because you might really, you know what I'm saying, really be, right, you might be the one who really supposed to be getting locked up, and it might happen to you.
And that's what I'm saying, right? Like, consideration. Like, remember, you dealing with another human. Like, are you at fault? Like, remember that show we did? Like, did you throw the first punch?
Did you throw the first punch? Right.
Right? Like, are you antagonizing this person? Like, are you being an asshole? Are you saying aha? Like, are you causing this? Right? Like,
Right.
you gotta think about that, right? Like, are you the reason? Are you the reason why the person won't help you?
Are you the reason why the person won't help you? Yeah, people don't self-reflect. That's what we talk about. I'll show accountability. And you would have to have some consideration in realizing that you have to take self-accountability. You have to say, did I cause this? Did I throw the first punch? And we see that. We see that a lot, man. People have a lot of difficulty admitting their wrongdoing, like they will die on or live on, fuck you, and I meant to do it,
When they did, when they really did.
you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, that's okay. Like, I'm okay with that, but if I start fucking you back, then, don't be a victim, don't play victim. Like, keep the same energy. If you want war, come with a war, you
And,
know? Like, that's my thing. Don't say you want war and then act like a coward, you know?
and
Like,
that's lack of consideration,
then that's lack of consideration, you
right?
know?
Because you throwing rocks, you saying what, and then you at the same time you talking about, like, yo, hold him back.
Yeah, now it's like, hold him back, hold him back, hold him back. I'm not really that tough. I'm not really that tough.
You could have just not said nothing at all, right? Like,
Yeah, could have just not said nothing at all. And that's, because silence don't have to be agreement. Silence could just be that. It could be a perfect silence. It could just be perfect silence. And I do that. I exemplify that. That's some of my consideration that I have to and thinking that the meaning of it is like being considerate, where if you do something, take accountability, be sincere in your apology with it. Don't do it and then keep doing it and shit and think that, oh, then, because that could be interpreted as a fuck you, like, I'm not sincere. But then you say, okay, you know what? If you have to interact with that person, like, you give some consideration. Well, this person doesn't want to accept accountability for themselves. They can't even bring themselves to just say, you know what? I did something wrong. you know, and I don't want that to be our relationship. Okay. We can move forward. That's not even an apology. That's just you see what I'm saying? You see how I put that guy? That's not even an apology. The motherfucker didn't even have to say they apologize. They say, I did something wrong. That is letting the other person know you accepting accountability for what you did.
Which is what an apology is supposed to be.
That's all it's supposed to be. It don't have to
Right.
be, I'm sorry.
It doesn't have to be, I'm sorry,
You
please,
know?
whip me here, and I'm
Yeah,
your
like,
I'm your biatch for the rest of my life, and
yeah, like
you
that's
own me, and you gotta
yeah.
have your foot on my neck because I'm sorry. No, I did something wrong, right? And can we move on?
Can we move forward? That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Like what we
Like
gotta do?
adults.
Like what we gotta do?
Like adults. Like adults. Just keep it pushing, keep it positive, you know,
Like I still want to be your friend.
you know. Like shit, like it don't even
Even if
have
you
to be,
don't.
yeah, even if you don't want to be the person friend, it's still
Yeah,
like we still keep it cordial. It's still a
correct,
be consideration, you
correct.
know, because you never know how you have to what the situation is, whether it's work, whether it's your living situation, whether it's, you know,
You don't know.
any type of environment. So it's just having some consideration for, for others. You know, if that's what the meaning of it is about, if that's what it means, because we're gonna get into the definition soon here. So yeah, God, let's check out some of these comments real quick. Shout out to Josephus Comedy in the building. Consideration, consider this: the breath before the word, the stillness before the reach, the weight of choosing kindness over haste. Yet some consider consideration waste. That's funny. Do you do YouTube things, like, share, and subscribe? Okay. To me, consideration is the outgoing frequency of empathy. Okay. Consideration, Hebrew, fuck you.
I learned some Hebrew tonight.
In Hebrew is fuck you.
I learned some Hebrew tonight. Word.
Yeah, that's what it most commonly is nowadays, for real. Like everybody's a Hebrew.
I know.
You know. Um, yeah. Then what he said, I've only called the police once and it was on myself. I told them I had 10 minutes. They had 10 minutes to come lock me up, or they'll be cleaning 2 people up. I know that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I always say, like, man, if I'm calling the police, like, it has to be something serious,
Mhm.
like it has to be, because I know they got real crime to fight. They out there really trying to do something in the community, for what sex traffickers, drug dealers, and, people beating up on old people and all types of domestic violence shit. And, it's a host of fuckery going on in the world. So, if
There's a lot of creeps out there.
a
A
lot
lot,
of creepy shit,
lot of
you
creepy
know,
people out there.
but definitely, when I hear the word consideration, um, I just think about like like taking the other person's what they got going on into perspective. You know, that's where I be at with it, with consideration. It's just like, okay, um, that's initial. That's dealing with somebody um before there becomes maybe a reaction by me. All right. Then if I react, and let's say my reaction is something that they disagree with, then I also exemplify consideration again, to when I self-reflect and say, could I have done, and take accountability and say, could I have reacted differently? Could I have responded differently? Um, I also look at the consideration to be like, sometimes maybe you needed to respond in that way because you would have not got the result that you currently have. So sometimes that's consideration where it's like, okay, well, if I do this, this is going to put me in a bad situation. But spiritually, I don't have no problem with sacrificing myself for the good. So when I look at that, I say, okay, well, yeah, I did sacrifice myself in a situation like that. And it was for the good. When it came back, I still was able to look at myself and say, you know what, you could still be considerate, because you don't have to be proud of your actions. You know, you can still be considerate of others' feelings. Like somebody said, I said something to them and it hurt their feelings. Okay, well, I wasn't proud that I hurt their feelings. I felt like what needed to be said. But then I wasn't so much of an asshole that I couldn't apologize because they let me know that I hurt their feelings. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, the consideration was initially like, yeah, I considered that I needed to tell that person that shit because I ain't like what they, I
Wrong
felt
is
like
wrong.
I felt like they was better than than how they were conducting themselves,
Word.
in my opinion. All right. Or they had the potential to be better than what they were exemplifying. So when you do that, I'm thinking somebody else ain't telling you that. It's nobody else in your life who telling you that. Everybody else around you is with the bullshit. They telling you ain't doing no wrong, or even can't nobody tell you nothing. That might be a problem. Some people had that problem too. I had that problem in my youth, but you live long enough and you realize everybody don't care about you. And you can't have an attitude of walking around always talking about fuck everybody, because it does matter, not necessarily people's opinions, but people's view and perspective, because everybody got somebody that they care about how they view them. All my friends, people that I consider my friends that are my family, because I don't got too many quote unquote friends. Everybody that I consider a friend is my family. So I consider what they think of me. My peers, I consider what they think of me. So I conduct myself a certain way. It's not for them to like me. It's not for them to like me. I never been no get with. I ain't never needed no crew to hang with. I ain't never needed no whole bunch of friends or just needed to be I ain't never needed none of that shit. I always could roll solo. I always had my homeboy or two or three. My grandmama tell you, I ain't never brought no whole bunch of people home to the house. So I considered also my family and bringing people to my home. Everybody can't come inside. Some people you meet in the street.
And they stay there.
And they stay there. And so when I think of consideration, I think of all those things of it's starting with me first. It's starting with me and what I lend to the other people, what the respect that I give to the other people, the compassion that I give to the other people, how I consider them, if any of them words correlate with consideration, and what are they giving me? Somebody could be giving me some bullshit, something I don't agree with, and I could still be being nice. I could still be kind. I could still be being kind.
Fuck that nice shit.
Yeah, fuck nice. I could still be being kind. But then I have to acknowledge, like, okay, well, you being kind and they taking your kindness for weakness. So you know, I don't mind being called a bitch, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not a bitch, you know. I don't what you know, only sticks and stones break bones. You know, I'm from that school. So words ain't bothering me. And yeah, I was raised around my mother, but my mother had a lot of men, you know what I'm saying, that she made sure strong men that I was around where ain't nobody all on no your words and shit hurting and all, you know what I'm saying? If you disrespectful, you gonna get checked. That's it. And you can get checked respectfully too. Like, we don't have to talk to each other like that. You know, we can talk to each other respectfully, but you can't talk to me disrespectfully, you know? So the words don't bother me like that. I'm more of a person who is considerate to who takes consideration on what's being said, not how it's being said. And why is this being said? And how is this resolving the issue? Is this leading to a resolve? You know, so that's what I think of when I hear the word consideration, because I don't think a lot of people even use it. I don't think it's even taught anymore.
Nope. What does it say? Consideration was a waste.
Yeah, it's like Josephus said in Hebrew, is five Q. You know, for real. And I think that that's what more people are aligned with, thinking, believing, or you know, or thinking that that's cool or acceptable, because they just don't have any respect for anything, or little respect for things, you know, from a certain standpoint.
Yeah. I mean, everything you said. I mean, that's why I say, man. Like we just forget that we're dealing with another human, right? And just as flawed as you are, they are, right? And we gotta. That's why I say, man. Like we have to accept people for who they are, and if you want to do that, then there's no need to fake it to make it with your loved ones, man. Like just be you, and they're gonna still show up, right? And life is good, but everybody's just scared to be them and putting on faces, right? And trying to be the person that they think the person that wants to see, right? It's almost like we chasing the image on TV, and that's the only thing that we're really thinking about. We're not actually thinking about real life. We're trying to live up to an image, and that image is taking away our ability to critically think. I don't know, man. It's just bad.
I
Like we,
agree with that, God. You know, when one key thing you just said, well, one of the many key things you just said was like, people taking their cues. It's where people taking their cues from.
yeah,
And you know, and I deal with this, you know, because I'm not a get wit. Like, I ain't never been a get wit. Never, you know. Like, I never been a get wit. I ain't never been somebody that needed to have a friend or needed to have somebody, you know. I don't know what, I was just born that way. But people have a problem with it when you not wrapped up in all of the stuff, you know, the whatever culture says you supposed to be like this, or you supposed to do like that, or you not picking a side with this, or you not picking a side with that. You know,
yeah.
you have your own style of dress, you have your own creativity of how you do shit. You know, you not trying to be like nobody else. You don't need to see what nobody else got going on to get your ideas. You can sit still and come up with your own stuff, you
And
know.
like what you come up with yourself, whether anybody else like it or not, you like it.
Whether, yeah, like,
You know what I'm
you
saying?
know, what's that saying? Like, you don't gotta like me because I like me.
Like,
you know, like
what happened to that?
you know, like, and people have a problem with that though. People have a real, I think because that hate is just, it's just so much, you
Oh, that's
know,
right. That's how
it's so
you
much
get to
player
get to be,
Haitian resident, even though I ain't no player, I'm married.
yeah,
But
you get to be arrogant, right?
yeah, then now I'm arrogant
Yeah.
because I won't let you in to, you know, but when you don't appear to bring any value, now I'm even more arrogant because or I'm even more bougie or whatever. But I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay with any of that shit. You
All of
know,
it.
because one thing about it, I still wear this skin. So I'm gonna go somewhere and whatever you think I'm at, somebody gonna think I'm that anyway, or I'm not. I'm still gonna have style, still gonna, have flavor. So I'm gonna present myself how I'm gonna present myself. But the problem is that so many people want you to conform to their expectation. We're not talking about following the rules. We talking about a social uh comfort level that that makes people be like, oh, okay, well, they cool, or were they
That
cool?
was perfect, God, because I was thinking like because we say things are normal versus abnormal, and to me the norms should be the things that are safe, productive. The abnormal should be the things that are dangerous and life threatening, right? But in reality, is what you just said. Um, the social acceptance, like like those
Yeah.
become the things that are normal. Like, I don't like the way you dress, ill. So we gotta shun you, talk about you, and possibly call you a witch and burn you at the stake, depending on the time period, right? Like, and how spooky people are, right?
I give you even one, different. One different. I don't like the fact that like, oh, you got a house. Why you got this house and you don't have no kids? Why you got all that? Why you got all this? Why you got all that and you don't have this? Why you had it's like, damn, like, why you a man in a home? Like, I'm married, right? But before I was married, like, why you ain't out here running chicks in and out the house? You know, why you ain't driving this type of this vehicle or that? You got this, but you don't got that. It's like, what was that thing you said? Like, people looking for flaw,
Looking for
but it
them,
ain't even no flaw because it's just like I'm minding my business. You know what I'm saying? Like ain't nobody pocket watching nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm really trying to keep my shit together. You know, but you might know that if you wasn't on hoe shit. You know what I'm
correct.
saying? Because that's what I call that hoe shit because that's some hoe shit. That's what gossipy motherfuckers do. That's what people who ain't trying to focus on their improving the quality of their life do. They what you call them looking ass niggas.
Looking at motherfuckers,
You
bro. Like
know,
this, they're looking for flaws, looking for something to talk about because they ain't doing nothing, right? The things that they are doing, they don't value themselves.
they don't even value the shit that they doing. And it's like I be saluting everybody because I'm like, man, yeah, I don't fuck with struggling, but I got to struggle too though. When you say when I say like I don't fuck with the struggle, people will be automatically assume you talking down on black folks. But that's only the black folks that that are cool with struggling.
Yeah,
That's only the black folks that are cool with struggling.
and
You
and that's
know,
that's that's not a lifestyle I'm cool with,
fuck that shit.
right?
Nah,
Like that's like you struggle when you have to,
that's it.
not when you want to, right? Like that's crazy. Like I can't like a perpetual state of have to, like something will have to give.
You know, and I'm not playing the lotto.
I'm not playing.
You know, like I'm not
Something will have to give, I
I'm
guess.
not spending these $2 or $3 thinking my life gonna change and I don't have no financial literacy. I don't know what to do, but what I'm gonna do with it, but just spend it. You know, like that don't make sense to me. So we have been answering, what do you think of when you hear the word consideration? And we are going to go ahead and get into the definition this evening. Make sure to like and share this video. So we have consideration, y'all. We are smoking on the word consideration. And the word consideration is a noun. And the number one, we have continuous and careful thought. Continuous and careful thought.
There we go. Continuous is something you got to keep on doing. It's not something that you can do once. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm considerate."
Well, I was considerate today. You know, I'm gonna be nice today, but then it's fuck you from here on out. You know, like that's like a fake ass apology.
That's like a fake ass apology.
You know,
Well, you don't say that I did something wrong.
when you don't say you did something wrong, or you do, but then you keep doing it.
It's all you do, and you just keep on doing it.
Yeah. So then we have 2A, a matter weighed or taken into account when formulating an opinion or plan. A matter weighed or taken into account when formulating an opinion or plan.
You need consideration for even an opinion.
Absolutely. You had to
Oh,
take some careful thought,
oh,
but
yeah.
guess what happened? But guess what happens? We can't. Who is the judge of whether it's careful? We do know sometimes people's opinion can be continuous, because a person can have negative, they can have some resentment or some hate. So they're continuously thought of you is formulating opinion because they have no idea. They don't know that you're still a mystery. You still
See,
a myth. They don't know, you know. So their continuous thought is just an opinion. Oh, he this, she that, they
yeah,
this.
yeah, but the part that's missed is the a matter weighed.
Right,
Like like
right.
that's you just can't overlook that part, right? And
Yeah,
just have an opinion. You gotta
right. But how many people that do that actually consider the matter weighed? Because because now the weight of the matter, you're required to take a taking into account. B,
Mhm,
you have to
mhm,
have an accountability.
mhm. Yep.
So you have to have your actions and their actions, their words and your words,
Who
you
threw the
know?
first punch? Yeah.
So you have to have it both. If not, then you just, you know, what they say, like opinions, everybody got one, you know? The asshole part. So it requires work. It requires 3, thoughtful and sympathetic regard. His consideration of the needs of others. 3, thoughtful and sympathetic regard. Thoughtful and sympathetic regard. If I do this, or I could have done this, them people gonna have to pay money. Them people might even go to jail.
Not even go
With
to
how
jail.
reckless they being. But then you get no no love for the consideration of that. Them people could lose money to take food off their plate. I don't have to have no consideration for that. I don't have to be thoughtful and sympathetic for that. I could be like, fuck you. Like, what's I
That's
could be a
the
Hebrew.
Hebrew. You can be
I
a
could be a
Hebrew for
Hebrew.
the. I identify as a Hebrew.
You know, I could be a Hebrew, right? Or a heathen. You know? So you have to have thoughtful and sympathetic regard. That is a part of consideration. An opinion obtained by reflection. 4. An opinion obtained by reflection.
Yo, you know what that mean? Like forget about the opinion part, the reflection part. That means you gotta be a good listener, right? Like you actually got to be receptive of the output that somebody else is giving you, and reciprocate that, right? You gotta give the proper answer. You got to give the proper um call and response kind of thing, right? Like it can't be I just want to hear myself talk, or I'm already thinking about what I'm gonna say next, and totally forget about whatever it is that you're saying right now. That's probably answering all the questions I asked you before of why you're a piece of shit, and, and you actually explain it to me, and I'm not listening because I'm thinking about how I can beat you up some more, and and ultimately I'm saying what's the point of this conversation, right? Because if the goal is not to mend the relationship, then am I only here to hurt you, right? Am I only here to just to hear myself talking just to have like you said, an opinion obtained by reflection. Like you have to actually think about it. You actually gotta
You
go on
have,
the you
yeah.
gotta go on the inside a little bit, right?
You gotta self-reflect. Like that, the only thing they missing is self.
That's it. Like you gotta think about it, right?
But
Like
they saying, God, you that it's both, it's all parties involved.
all parties involved is a mirror, right? Like is you disrespecting yourself when you don't consider the person that you're talking to, right? Because you're not considering yourself. You're losing out on information. You're losing out on what it is. Like you're losing out on the purpose of the conversation, right? Whatever this interaction is.
Losing out on the purpose of the conversation. I'm listening. Go ahead, cook, God.
You know, I'm just saying, like it's just a lose, right? And like everything about this so far is there's no microwave, there's no being nice, right? This is not a consideration is not a place for niceties, right? Consideration is a place for honesty, right? And for you to sit down and dig in. Like the very first thing it say continuous and careful thought, right? And like people like me get charged with being overthinkers and whatnot, and they want to drug us and tell us we have a problem. But if I'm always thinking about how my actions are gonna affect the people, places, and things around me, so that I can thrive and continue to supply a prosperous and abundant lifestyle for myself and my family, right? Because for I don't know about y'all, but for me, the goal is to get to abundance, right?
Ain't it, man?
Like
Ain't
the
it, man?
like I don't know about y'all, but I want to have so much food that I ain't got to worry about being hungry, right?
Ever,
Like,
ever,
and I don't see nothing wrong with that, right? I wrote a book
ever.
about it, teach you how to do it. It keeps it going, right? And I don't. That's not a flex. is
flex on. Yeah, flex.
but it's not.
That's a big flex. Link in the description down low.
No, it is in the description, but like is a real thing because I'm trying to get to abundance, and the bare necessities is food, clothing, and shelter, and you got to have the ability to protect those things, right? Because possession is 9/10 of the law. It's yours until somebody take it from you, right? Like that's just how that goes, man. So like we gotta self-reflect. We gotta take our time and think about the human that we dealing with, right? That's why I say, right, like everybody can't come in on the operation at the same time, right? Everybody can come in. There's a place for everybody, but everybody can't come in at the same time. Some people don't have vision that can see past a dirt road or dirt and rocks or just a empty acres of land. Some people can see that and all they see is dirt and rocks and grass and oh my God, what am I going to do with this? Other people, they see a complex, they see a compound, they see stores and shops and they see a future city,
Right.
right? Your homeboy might be that person that can't see that far, right? But he may have something that you need, and he might want to still support you. You just gotta bring him around when there are things there for him to look at and be impressed by, so that he can be a benefit.
No. Bad word. Bad word. Bad
Not
word.
maybe
Bad
not
word.
impressed, maybe not
No.
impressed, not impressed,
When
but
you can
like
put when you can employ him and put him to work. I feel you though, God.
yeah, that's what I mean, right? Because
That
if
ain't
you
what
come,
you said. That ain't
I
what you
said
said.
impressed. I said impressed by
And I'm fucking with you
yeah.
because you the one who introduced me to that.
Like I'm saying impressed, but it's like it's really like impact his ass. Like, all right, this is beneficial, and this is where you fit in, and I can use you here. I apologize, guy. Yeah, what you said? I taught you what?
That specifically that thing is that everybody, that saying that everybody can't go with you
hmm
is not set in stone. What you have to look at is that everybody can't go with you right now, and then you
Correct.
have to get them into when you get to a certain place,
Correct.
then you can see how you can fit them in,
Correct.
you know. And I didn't, you put me on to that, God. That was knowledge that you gave me, because I was thinking that, trying to help so many people and build them up, and I came to the conclusion that, because I had to tell somebody this, I said they would kind of like, chastising me a little bit, like, man, you ain't even asking me, or you ain't even trying to give me the boo boo boo, and or you ain't even helping me, boo boo boo. And I said, look, bro, I said, there is no way with what you have exemplified already on your own that I would give it to you thinking that you're going to do something different.
Correct.
I will be a fool to give it to you to think that just because I'm giving it to you, then you're going to be more successful than what you do on your own. So if you can't do it on your own, and we're not saying that it has to be, you know, impressive,
No.
right? But it has to be a foundation built. It has to be something that says that's worthwhile, that looks worth investing.
Yeah,
You
it has to
know,
be real. It has to be the I's got to be dotted, T's got to be crossed, right? You have to be in position to receive help or to receive assistance, right?
right?
Nobody has time to stop everything that they doing to come over and help you in the middle of your process, and you are still at the beginning and everything is still in a box.
And
Like
you complaining and jealous,
you complaining and jealous.
and you
Like, so,
complaining and jealous.
at least open the box and check the inventory first, line everything up, like get some stuff going. You know what I'm saying? Do something.
Trying to impress you by saying, trying to encourage you by saying, wow, you do that so tight, man. You do this, and man, you do that, and man, you do this, and man, it's the way that you do it in the way. I'm like,
Man, that's corny.
that's so corny to me.
That's corny, right? And I used the wrong word, but 100% didn't mean impressed like that.
No,
Like,
no, I know. That's why we can
yeah,
we iron sharpening.
yeah,
You need
yeah,
a stone. You need a stone. Sometimes I gotta be a stone. I gotta be a rock in the
yeah,
hard place.
yeah. I just heard you just now, and I was like, yeah, I don't want nobody thinking.
That's all. That's all, God.
Hell yeah.
But that's absolutely right though. It was that was peace though, because I really was struggling with that, because I know so many guys from the street, and it's just like I be trying to look out and be trying to drop some jewels and stuff, but it seemed like people just want handouts. They don't want to do no work,
Yeah, yeah,
so I had to really fall back a lot, completely,
yeah.
all the way,
You're
you
not in
know.
position, and they not in position to help or receive help, right? Because the kind of help they need, you ain't got the funds for. or or
What the God said, what the God
or
said.
desire to.
I definitely don't have a desire, because I don't work hard for this shit, made a lot of
Yeah,
sacrifices.
yeah, right.
So,
There's many
and,
birthdays, many holidays, many
and ain't nobody giving me nothing.
nothing.
Ain't nobody
Nothing.
giving me anything. Most people trying to give me a hard fucking time. You know what I'm saying? So ain't nobody giving me nothing.
Nah, son.
So I am I do believe in paying things forward though, and being considerate, and having consideration, being compassionate. I do believe in those things, being benevolent,
Hmm.
and I do conduct myself as such. But in real life, ain't nobody giving me shit though. My mama and my daddy gave me life. Love y'all for that.
Word.
So after that, jumped off the porch at 11 years old. you know. So we have 4. We are, if y'all just joining us, we are exchanging insights and smoking on the word consideration. And we are going over the definition of consideration right now. We are at number 4, at an opinion obtained by reflection. 5, esteem, regard. Then we have 6A, recompense or payment. 6B, the inducement to a contract or other legal transaction, specifically an act of forbearance or the premise thereof done or given by one party in return for the act or promise of another. That's recompense and payment. I think sometimes when people go to court, they use the word consideration.
Man.
Yeah. In it's legalese, so it can be substituted. So yeah, but that is definitely continuous and careful thought. Let's go over here to the thesaurus and see how consideration is given to us in the synonym. So we have 2 synonyms: deliberation and compensation. So as in deliberation, a careful weighing of the reasons for or against something, commonly used in, the jury has to deliberate. Right? It's used in court, legalese. All right. The example they give right here: after much consideration, we decided to make an offer on the house. Now somebody could say, After much deliberation, we decided to make an offer on the house too. After much study, after
Yeah.
much debate, after much contemplation, after much meditation, after much pondering, after much agonizing, contagion, after much hesitation, after much reflection, after much thought, after much account, introspection, rumination, pondering, premeditation, meditation, advisement, debate.
Yep.
You know, all of these things are considering something, as in deliberating, thought, taking the time to think. Mostly associated with critical thinking. I'm surprised it's not here, but we see these things that all correlate. You know, contemplation, meditation, pondering.
Nothing is quick or reactive either. Nothing is you hurt my feelings, so because you did no tit for tat kind of reaction is what I'm saying. Everything is premeditated, right? It's agonizing. You know what I'm saying? It's ruminating. It's introspective. Like even intro, like that's like really deep down. Your eyes are closed. Meditation,
Right.
right? Right. Like that's all about like
Taking your time,
taking your time.
weighing your options, a careful weighing of the
Yeah.
reasons. You
Taking
know
your
that
time.
saying, weighing your options.
Yeah.
You know, a careful weighing of the reasons. And that's what I was talking about earlier when I was just like, you know, you have to weigh your actions in consideration. You know, what did I do? What is the situation? Why did I respond like that? What was the reason for it? It's like I had made a comment. I said to somebody was asking me about a personal situation in my life, and I said, you know, um, it's not always about pointing a finger at who did what. Sometimes it's about acknowledging that something was done so that way you can just have all the facts to making your decision in how you're going to resolve things and move forward.
Facts.
Because once it's done, it's done.
That's it.
You know, so holding a grudge or, you know, that's why I said like that shit is like a cancer, you know, because it's a sickness. It's just like just being sick all the fucking time. Like I'm just gonna be sick. I'm just gonna be sick of this. So why did this? Why did that? Why did that? Why did that? Like I refuse to hold any negative anything or like a why, especially for some shit that already happened. You know, because it's done.
Yep.
It's done. It's either there's going to be it's always going to be reflection, and there's going to be a decision made to either move forward or, you know, and that's it. Like, like it ain't no other thing. Like shit. The only other thing is death. You know what I'm saying? So
Yo, because once you stop moving, that's it, right? Like everything
yeah,
gotta be in motion. Like a dead current is literally dead. Like
it's literally dead.
there's no power. There's nothing happening.
You know, and if I got the power and I can keep on keeping on and shit, then guess what? That's all we gonna do. You know, we'll worry about that shit when you dead. So we have deliberation, we have deliberation, and then we have compensation next. Something as money that is given or received in return for goods or services. So we have compensation, payment, pay, reparation, salary,
Hey,
wages, recompense, reimbursement, remittance, remuneration, adjustment, outlay, settlement, expenditure, repayment, stipend, rental, indemnity, refund, redress, restitution, requital, deposit, rebate, prepayment, disbursement, recoupment, overpayment, and rent. I know all the money words, though. All the money words, baby. Yep. So that's where we see the compensation. Consideration is given to us in deliberation as in compensation, but typically in American culture, in what we call what do I always call it? Casual conversation.
Yeah.
People only refer to consideration as in deliberation.
The colloquial way is deliberation only.
The colloquial way. Thank you. Yeah, God. The colloquial way. The continuous thought and careful thought.
Mind you, they don't do it, but
right. They don't do it, but if the word popped up on they phone or some shit, you know what I'm saying? They might. Consideration. Oh yeah, I consider some shit.
I consider some shit today. I'm considering this. Am I gonna answer this or not? Right? Yeah.
Right. So we have consideration, continuous and careful thought, a matter weighed or taken into account when formulating an opinion or plan, a taking into account, thoughtful and sympathetic regard, an opinion obtained by reflection, esteem, regard, and recompense payment, the inducement to a contract or other legal transaction, as in compensation. And that is our definition of consideration. And if you're just joining us, make sure to hit that like button, y'all. We are smoking on the word consideration, and we're going to go ahead and get into our second question of the evening. What are some common misconceptions about consideration? What are some common misconceptions about consideration? The God Ali Dawood, that BK Soul Farm.
I'm gonna go back to a previous show, right? I think the biggest common misconception is people forget that they hit first, right? Like they are, like nobody's. They forget they hit first, and they think that they the victim, right? And they think they're the victim always in every situation, even when they purposefully did something wrong, like for instance, bought an outfit to go to a party instead of paying their rent.
The landlord a piece of shit for one they rent.
and you a piece of shit for not helping them.
And
right?
you,
Like
when they bought the outfit, went out to the party, and then they called you and was just like, "Hey, I ain't gonna have all my rent. Can you help me out?" And you was like, "Shit, I just got my shit done. I ain't gonna be able to do it." "Oh, I know you got it. I know you got it. Cause you don't got this, or you don't got that, or you don't got this, or you don't got that."
Correct.
Yeah.
Like they think they being considerate, right? And their ask in the first place, they think they being considerate, in telling you all the ways that you can help them because you got it anyway, right? You got excess money, right? Or not excess money. What it's called, disposable money. Right? Imagine that excess money.
Excess. What is that? Excess.
All right.
Oh, you got a how you got a bedroom? Why I can't come live with you? Come live with me. You have a job,
You
like
ain't got a job. You ain't got no plan for
you don't
your
got no
own life.
plan. What are you talking about? Put it like this: I give you a date. I give you a date and a time frame. you know.
Yeah,
And
right. And then they want to come in and stay with you and be a dependent, or no, correction, be dependent without being a dependent, right? And still get treated like they are sovereign in their own space. And it's like, nah, son, like
like an adult, like an
you're
adult.
not. You're like I get it, like you're old enough, but your current status dictates that you should fall back at all times,
you know.
right? You definitely shouldn't be bucking up and raising your voice at nobody in here. Um, I don't know, like it's just people. I think the biggest misconception is people think that they're being considerate in the first place, right? And think that they have the right now because they were considerate to give somebody their ass to kiss.
That's so funny, guy. Because I always say, I'd be like, man, I won't even give you my ass to kiss, man. For real, like that's how much. When once you become a non-factor, I won't even give you my ass to kiss. Like it ain't even. You might think I'm saying in my head, kiss my ass, but I'm not even thinking about you. Like I'm like,
Yeah, once you gone, you gone.
I'm like my day. I have so much other more important shit to worry about than whatever that thing
Facts,
was. Like, come
facts.
on now, like because guess what? I know we only get one life, and I'm trying to get a whole lot of shit done. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to enjoy every single moment of it,
Mhm.
positive, productively, and peacefully. You know, so it's like I don't have no time for no fuck shit, man. Like never. You know. So definitely, God, you said so. People be acting like they forget that they throw the first punch, and people act like and people don't even practice consideration anymore. I don't even, I kind of feel bad having this conversation tonight about consideration because I don't even know if in the religious space, like in church, if this is, being preached on.
I was gonna say that, God. I don't think we've been given consideration ever really morally.
Like morally, that's what I'm talking about because the level of disrespect that goes on now, like, I mean, I definitely know that, like, there's no consideration of anything. Like, it's just consider what, unless it's, you know, LGBTQ plus AI,
You
IA,
have to consider them.
you have to consider that, be mindful of stuff you say. Um, you can't call special needs, you can't anything other than that, you know. Um,
Yeah.
unless you on a comedy circuit or something like that, and then they still won't catch flack.
Hmm.
Um, what else? I mean, it's there's no consideration on calling black women bitches and hoes, you know, um, killing niggas,
No consideration calling young brothers YNs.
no consideration calling young brothers YNs or young steppers or young sliders,
Young sliders. Oh my God.
encouraging them to
Commit murder.
uh
Fratricide, really. Not even
commit
murder.
genocide amongst each other,
Yeah, right. Fratricide. Like that's
um and be there's no consideration in promoting drug usage, pop this, pop that, pop this, pop that. um no consideration in now this is the thing. There is there is continuous and careful thought. So there is consideration in them things, but they're not thoughtful and sympathetic regard.
There's one way.
So just because we just read the definition, and you know, to have a proper understanding of it and not confuse nobody
Mhm.
with feeling or emotion, with us saying how there isn't something there. There is a continuous thought. There is a continuous thought, and what they say, a careful thought, because the way some of these guys put these musics together and these young ladies put these music together, it's carefully, it's, it sounds good. All right. However, there's it's no thoughtful and sympathetic regard to the damage that is being done from after it's sounding all good and this, that, and the third, you know. So I definitely think that that there are a lot of misconceptions about consideration when it's only being used halfway. And that's the part right there.
Halfway. I like that.
Yeah.
Halfway.
It's only being used halfway.
Yeah.
People not giving full thoughts into consideration. But that goes back to what you were saying earlier though, God, like with critical thinking not being taught, at the basic elementary school level. It's just study the test. As long as you can pass the test, then you pass to the next grade. You have to actually come into an environment where it's like outside of school, where it's challenge you to use more of your thinking ability to solve things, to get things done. Where it's like, let me show you how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, okay, well, remember what I taught you. Okay, so now that's your responsibility. And now you're tasked with doing it. And now it becomes repetitive. Now you're thinking about it. Okay, well, now you run into a problem. Okay, well, it isn't, the routine of it isn't normal like you was, like the 10 times that you did it now. Now you run into a problem with it. What do you think is a way that you can fix it? How do you get it back to your routine level?
Hmm.
And we don't get training like that. We don't get the ability to get taught to think like that at school. And that's nothing against the teachers, like we always say. It's nothing against the actual teachers. It's a problem with the curriculum.
Correct. The
You know,
humans are doing what humans do, trying to survive in this world, earn a living.
that's right. That's
Right.
right.
The curriculum is just, it's to the point now, bro. Like, and I'm pro AI, man. Like, I'm pro technology, but I feel like we need to have consideration and be mindful that we need to remember processes and remember to ask why, right? And we just not out here just doing stuff just to be doing it. We're not out here just following trends because an algorithm said this is the trend for today, and now we're just doing that, right? Because that's what we think is gonna get us a click or two, right? Like we just gotta,
Ain't that the truth?
all right? Like they got like the new thing now is audibles, and it's like, don't read your book yourself. Just take a picture of it and let the phone read it to you, right? And I get it, but it's going as far as like the commercials are saying like you're reading wrong. Like we're trying to shame people for actually still doing things the old school, surefire way of making sure that their brain is actually firing off. You know what I'm saying? And putting one thing over here and like, yeah, it's still working. It still functions. Right now we just Now we're just being told things, and now we're just being listened to things, and putting everything into the AI engine and saying summarize, and whatever it summarizes, that is our thoughts on the matter, and it's just lazy, and it's not efficient for human, like sustainment and growth, right? Like it's good for the planet, like the Earth would be good, right? Because they gonna get us, the robots gonna get us out of here, right?
Elon is working. Elon is working on it. At least some jobs, at least certain jobs,
Yeah,
at least certain jobs are definitely going to become,
and
robotic.
I think a lot too, right? Like I think a lot are, because they, at least in the government, they saying that anything that is repeatable, that can be, that has some kind of pattern to it, that's consecutive, that's a routine thing. Like look for those to be automated.
Yeah, fast food. You go into the grocery store now.
Yeah,
Um, they even have stores. I think somebody was rolling out some test model stores that, they had an attendant in there, but they would self check out everything, and
everything, right?
yeah.
Like
So
that's a whole lot of people that's not employable, right? Not, can't even say that they're unemployed because they might work someplace else, but that industry, that facility makes those people unemployable, except for that one person that's not attending.
that one attendant.
We need that person.
Right. It's like, don't give me a hard time. I just,
Okay.
you get that one person in there, like, man, look, don't give me a hard time. I'm just here,
And how horrible would that be if the one person that is, and they got a bad attitude and don't want to deal with customers, right? And now they lose their job because the customers like, man, get this person out of here too.
They might be like, I'm just here to sweep up
I'm just,
and wipe shit down if y'all spill something. Like, other than
man,
that, don't
give
even act like I'm not even here. The shit is on the shelf. It's just like self checkout in the grocery store.
like self-checkout.
Yeah, you
I,
know,
they're not even there for security, right? They just did it to clean.
no, no. One of those places I seen, God, like I think people were complaining about because they had to swipe their credit card to get in.
I like it.
But I understood what that was about. That's
Yeah, that's
accountability. So, like, if you
accountability.
steal some shit,
Come on, son.
we know who coming in here.
We know who coming in here. We know who to charge it to, right? Like,
Easy. Easy.
right?
I was like, that is pretty
And,
crafty.
but that's what you get with all this automation, when humans are complaining about humans, right? Oh man, they always got bad attitudes. Every time I go into the store, the people act like they don't want to work in here. And it's true. Like they do act like they don't want to work in there, right? And they act like they mad at you for coming to their register, right? They act like they mad at you for asking them where things are in the store. They act like they mad at you that they got to mop this floor because you.
Because it's
It's
a part of their
it's a part of the
responsibility.
responsibility. Like it's bad, bro. Because like it's literally people, almost like people are giving up, and are just looking for the easy button, and just checking out on. I don't want to deal with other humans except for in a fun way. If we're not drinking and out of our mind, but if you gotta have real conversations, I don't want to deal with
Right.
that.
If we're not having real conversations, right? A
Right.
real conversation. What is that?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh,
I said that's pretty crazy though when you have people who and this is a part of consideration. Like when I said like I know enough low vibrational people already. All right. When I say I know enough niggas, okay. And I don't want new nigga friends.
Absolutely not.
You know, I don't. I want people who desire to be better in life, you know, who value that. So if that's not, they like with the young people, with what Cam Newton say, and some of the young people, like, it's given, you know, like if you're not giving that, then you're not getting shit from me, you know, because I done did that already. So that ain't that shit, like you was talking about impress, that shit don't impress me.
Facts.
You know, that shit don't even make me feel comfortable, because it's just like, what type of conversations am I gonna have? I can't even have the type of conversations that I like to have, the type of shit that we be having when we building offline, you know?
Because we be building. It's not elevated conversations. Like, we're not talking to each other just to be talking to each other.
So, you know, so I'm like, so I don't, so when I want to remember what you said the other day with the last show, when it was like, if I got a homeboy or a homegirl or whoever that is just, they don't do nothing, you know, like that, all they do is sit around, play video games or some shit, you know, or they sit around, smoke a whole lot of weed, or, you know, like they are just unproductive. And I'm not saying people who smoke a whole lot of weed or play video games can't be productive, because you can be a video gamer and make a lot of money in tournaments. You know, you could be somebody who owns a fucking dispensary, all right, or a video game engineer, all right. So, and I dropped those Jews because I be getting so sick and tired of people just putting kids on the game, you know, and don't drop any other jewel into them. Like, you know, don't encourage, don't pour water on it any other way, but just go play the game. Where it's like, they can be a video game engineer. They can go to video game camp if you pour water on that.
Yep.
Not just you buy them a new games, you out of 60, 70 bucks, and they just beat that shit in a weekend, and now you gotta be waiting to get paid to go buy them another game that they just gonna beat in another 2 days. You know? So it's so many things that can just be encouraged for everybody to elevate on. And I'm like, if I'm around these people, you know, that's saying with, like, if you're around 10 people that's on drugs, you're gonna be the 11th person. If you're around 10 people that's a bum, you're gonna be the 11th bum. If you're around 10 people that's underachievers, you're gonna be the 11th. Like, that shit real.
100%.
So I have some consideration for that. I put a lot of careful thought into that with who I spend my time around, with who I spend my time with, because time is something that we not gonna get back. Can't nobody get it back. So having somebody that, yeah, we enjoy certain things with, I got plenty of people that I could just go and pull up, and we could just shoot the shit, and we could just, you know, bullshit for a couple hours or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But trust me, the whole time I'm there, I'm probably thinking about some other shit, like, this shit is a waste of time. Intermittently, you know, I had my flashes in and out where I'm, you know, you know what I'm saying? Intermittently, I have my flashes in and out where I'm enjoying my time with, you know, in that environment.
Because
But
it doesn't mean that this person is a waste of my time.
no, it just means the activity is a waste of activity. Yeah, not the person.
Not the person, the activity.
You know? And that's what I'm saying. Having people that have activities like that, you know, I don't need more people that have waste of time fucking activities. You know, more people that, you know, I encourage you to have more people that give you things that you don't know, that help you build on things that you're already interested in.
Hmm.
and introduce other perspectives to you, to be like, hey, did you know about this right here? Did you know that you can invest in this and that, and boom, boom, boom? Did you know that you could grow this and that, and then you could have this? And did you know that you could farm this? And did you know that business tax codes and things like they could do? You know what I'm saying? Like the things that you like. Did you know that? Hey, if you travel here, it's nice and blah blah blah. Did you know that? You know, did you know about the new laws that came out with this, that, and the third? Or
Hmm.
all these types of things. You can't have them conversations with people who just worried about what the fuck happened on Love and Hip Hop or some shit.
Because they did not talk about that on Love and Hip Hop. I don't think.
Like or what new rapper got a new song that just came out or some dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like you just that's just not the frequency. That's low. That to me is low vibrational. And I'm not saying I have a disgust with it. I'm not disgusted by it. I'm just not on that no more. I did that when I was younger,
Hmm.
you know? And I suggest to young people, if they get on some of this old head shit now, then when they get to my age, they'll be further along. If you and it's just an encouragement. It's not the guru. It's none of that. You like something, have a smoke. You don't, leave something in the ashtray for somebody else to come by and pick it up. That's what we always say. So we've been smoking on consideration tonight, y'all, and we just been exchanging some insights on our second question. What are some common misconceptions about consideration? Let us know in the comment section what you think are some common misconceptions about consideration. If you have any, if you even care, let us know. We respond to all the comments. We would like to know. Share your thoughts with us. And what we're going to do now is, we're going to go ahead and get into this evening's Flavor Bombs. Bombs presented to you by DBCHEFTV. So we got marriage for a green card. Y'all heard of that, right? Marriage for a green card. Oh no, that's gonna change. There's some changes coming to that. And then we have your 401k for private play. New law enacted. Well, it's an executive order. So I don't know if people are aware, but executive orders are not laws. Our laws are made by the legislative branch, and then they are voted on in the House and the Senate before they are made into law. An executive order is just something that a president would like to happen. And certain things, they can make some shit happen. People will act on it, but it's not a law yet. Third, we got a new law for underage prostitution. A new law for underage prostitution. So all y'all sex traffickers out there and pedos people, um, shit ain't cool. I hope y'all go to jail and rot in hell. Either way. But it's some laws that's changing, and they need to be changed. They need to be brought to the forefront. So we're gonna check out some of those too. But let's go ahead and get into this first clip this evening.
Back to our immigration coverage right now. Some immigrants trying to get a green card by getting married could be deported. This is a look at the policy notice that was put out by the Department of Homeland Security. The policy also applies to immigrants seeking lawful permanent residency through other family members.
Joining us now to put all of this in focus, immigration attorney Gustavo Mora. Thanks so much for joining us once again.
Sure. Hi, Colleen. How are you? Thank you.
Good. Now, this change applies to pending requests on August 1st or later. Are there people who applied before all of this? They could still be granted a green card?
Yes, of course. And moving forward, all of the individuals that are applying for adjustment of status can also be granted a green card. This is just the immigration office raising the stakes and making it a little more difficult for individuals to apply for an adjustment of status. That's why it's so important to get the message out that if you are going to move forward on something with the USCIS affirmatively, you should contact an immigration attorney to help you out because of the risk of being sent to immigration court.
And Gustavo, Kathy Vara here. An NBC News analysis found that more than 500,000 petitions were filed by family members in the first half of the year. So what happens to all of those petitions?
So again, all of the petitions continue. This is just giving the officers more discretion on whether or not they're going to be able to be efficient or inefficient in this process. Specifically, they don't have to issue, moving forward, requests for evidence or notices of intent to deny and can simply deny the case outright. They also have the option, discretionarily, of course, of sending the case to immigration court. But again, with the assistance of an immigration attorney, there are still ways to present this case, but the bottom line is that it's going to cause a lot more inefficiencies because these cases, if they are sent to immigration court, are going to require a lot of time and coverage by not only an immigration judge, but also by an attorney with the Department of Homeland Security, as well as private counsel.
Gustavo, a lot of people think you automatically become either a U.S. citizen or are entitled to a green card if you marry a U.S. citizen. Can you walk us through that process?
Sure, and I appreciate the question. Persons that have legally entered the United States or persons that are protected under Section 245I of the law, which had a petition prior to 2001, are allowed to apply for a green card in the United States, generally, on family petitions. Individuals who don't meet those two requirements can apply for a green card through the consulate from their country of origin. So they have to actually leave the country, and in many respects, many instances have to use a waiver, what's called an I-601A waiver. So for persons who are applying here in the United States, those are the ones who would be most concerned. And specifically, it's the I-130 petition, the visa petition, the family petition filed by a spouse or a son or daughter to the individual that will come under the more scrutiny thanks to this new policy. So that's why it's important to make sure that you get all your ducks in a row and do the most effective, comprehensive application possible when you file affirmatively with immigration.
Great information there, Gustavo Mora. Thank you so much.
Yeah, God, that's why we ran the whole clip, because you know, we got love for the Migos, the Haitian, the Zoes, the Latinos, the Trinis, the Yachties, everybody, all people in the Caribbean, the Antiguans, the Bohemians, you know, even the brothers coming from the UK, and everybody coming from the motherland, you know. So
I don't know what I heard there, but to me it sounded. The only thing it sounded like is if you put your application in to get married after the deadline, it's gonna get looked at like, you know, they're gonna be going through your social media to see if y'all really been dating and stuff. Right? Like y'all better be in love for real, because yeah.
That's a possibility.
It seems like it's like a personal thing where the person looking at, whoever's looking at the application is making a determination. It didn't seem like there was no way of Because how would
Nah,
you know?
they definitely gonna have a set of standards.
Yeah, they gotta have like something.
Yeah, they definitely gonna have a set of standards that they go by because the policies, it's a policy, you know. But a lot of times what happens with these policies is it's just like any government thing, it's always left to interpretation.
Mm,
You know, so like you said, God, it could be just the person there, the evaluator of the application,
yeah.
and they may not go to the senior evaluator, you know, because it's always somebody there who can say, "Let me see." Okay, it's always a boss, a supervisor,
Always.
you know. So when the thing is we may have a lot of people that don't consult the boss because you always in work environments they don't know shit. I know more than the boss. Only reason why I'm not the boss is because you ain't qualified. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only reason.
100% the reason why you're not.
You know, so it's like, you know, but people still think mentally they think they are right. Their attitude is qualified, but then you have directives that come down on things like that when they want to slow the application process. I found out that all government agencies do that have certain types of application processes where they approve people for things.
Mm-hmm.
And they have certain windows where they be like, okay, well, you know, we're not gonna we're gonna stop approving we have a cutoff date for this quarter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then after that we're going to pick up after the holiday, or we're going to pick up after this, or after we do our quarterly review, then we'll start. So, you know, applications are piled up real high for
Yeah.
all types of things, all types of government services, you know, and then people will be stuck and they'd be sitting there waiting like, yeah, I put in the application for it like 4 or 5 months ago and I ain't heard nothing yet, you know. And then all of a sudden then things will start moving again. It was like, oh yeah, they just, you know, the government was shut down. They had a continued resolution and they didn't pass a new budget, so they wasn't processing anything new. They just like, we gonna pay the people that we gotta pay, and that's it. Or we're gonna allow the people to go through that's already been processed, don't process nothing else. So these things tend to happen
Mm-hmm.
in government agencies. It's just the nature of it. But yeah, shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to everybody that be trying to, you know, come to America and live the American dream. You know, trust me, I've been here my whole life. I got a slice. I got a slice, you know, and the pie's big enough for everybody, you know. Pie's big enough for everybody.
Yeah, it is a whole country.
Ain't it, man?
A new executive order by President Trump opens the door for millions of Americans saving for retirement through a 401k who may soon be able to invest in high-risk assets like private equity or cryptocurrency. KTV's Tom Vakar joins us from the Larkspur office of a major 401k seller that already holds and invests almost $6 trillion for its customers. Tom?
Well, what this act could do, if it actually comes to be, is it could open up trillions of those dollars that are currently off limits to private equity, and all they have to do is get the Trump administration to go along with it.
Americans working.
President Trump issued an executive order to allow holders of 401k retirement accounts to invest in so-called private equity stock companies, currently not allowed to be offered to the general public. Private equity firms are essentially investment funds and partnerships that actively manage and restructure the companies they invest in.
It's sort of in common with executive orders and trade deals. The devil's in the details.
Terry Conley, former dean of the Golden Gate University Business School and former Wall Street investment banker.
Less safe, less predictable, and much more importantly, less transparent.
Currently, private equity's biggest investors are large institutional investors, pension funds, foundations, and foreign government wealth funds, which can afford the higher fees charged and the longer times the investors' funds are held.
Private equity investments require less public, in fact, no really public distribution of information about the financial health of the investment.
401k companies would just love to have all of this new business, but they do have a problem with private equity firms, and that is that 401k companies have a fiduciary responsibility to put the customer's interests higher than their own. That isn't necessarily the case with private equity. Nonetheless, the president's order directs the U.S. Department of Labor and Securities and Exchange Commission to revise the rules to allow all of this to happen. Folks we met at a Costco store say this.
More flexibility within to choose how the money is spent, types of funds, but not like any man for themselves.
On the one hand, people could do more of what they want with their money. But on the other hand, like, you'd have a lot of speculation and people could make a lot of bad decisions. So, I mean, I wouldn't be in favor of it.
What you think,
Yeah, so I'm not the financial guru by far at all, but I kind of agree with the last guy a little bit. I'm thinking people are using 401ks possibly incorrectly in the first place, or not necessarily saving enough or saving the right way or preparing the right way. And this seems like it can hit for those that get lucky, but it also seems like you can lose it all trying to follow the trend, right? But at the same time, like, I'm not sure, right? Because it said that if the government is doing it, will they have to still keep our interests? Like, how does that? Because that's what they say right now with the 401k. They look at the customer's interest first versus making money per se, right? I don't know, man. Like that, we come to that financial stuff. I talk to you.
Yeah.
like I talk to you.
My take on it is one of the things that you said is that it could be beneficial, but there is more risk. And the biggest thing about 401ks, which we talk about on Bowls on the Table podcast, make sure y'all go over there and check it out. We got a couple videos up there. Is that 401ks, especially for the most part, most people have them tax deferred. Okay. And what people don't realize is that you don't pay the taxes now. You pay the taxes when you get ready to withdraw your money. That's foolish because there is no set income wage tax. It can keep increasing. All right. It is not fixed. So I always suggest, because I am not a licensed financial advisor, I always suggest to people, if you do have a 401k, you should have a Roth 401k. You should Roth it. And the reason why is because you will pay your taxes now, and then all the money you have will be yours, and what you see is what you get. The problem with having tax deferred is because, one, financial literacy is not taught in college, in high school. I mean, home economics ain't even teaching it, if home economics is still a class in school. All right. And the problem is that a person will look at all this money that they think they have, and they have not factored in that they haven't paid taxes.
Yeah.
So then they will be in a world of hurt because they'll be looking at it like, oh, I got this much. And then once they realize the amount of taxes that they haven't paid, they'll be like, oh shit, I got to go back to work. So if you have at least a Roth, then what you see is what you get. And you won't have to, be disappointed, because with most of these things where they said that the fiduciary has a obligation to the client, which to me is, bogus. The reason why they sell you the tax deferred thing in the first place, because it's bogus, because they make commissions and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Like,
Correct.
and let's say you got a 401k and you looking at the market and the stock market is up like 20%, 30%. And then you got like a 4% return, or 5% return. But your commissions and fees went up that they still charging you to manage your money. So what about the other 25% that, the market is up 30%, but you got 4 or 5%, you happy? But that's what a lack of financial literacy does. And then you're going to have to pay taxes on that while they just while they happy just investing your money, making these highest returns, charging you, to manage your money, and you thinking you're going to have it. So like Roth it and do your own diligence and open your own brokerage account. Charles Schwab, Fidelity, Cash App, right on the computer on your phone. Like, look at some stuff, research some stuff. And even if you don't want to do that, just take the time to say, you know what? Do I shop at Walmart? Why don't I own it? Do I go buy Coca-Cola? Why don't I own it? Do I go shop at Home Depot? Why don't I own it? Spend the money where you shop at. Buy companies that you spend your money at constantly. That's a strategy that can work. It don't have to be, everybody don't have to try to be Warren Buffett and make millions and trillions of dollars. But if you don't invest, you're not building no wealth. Nobody's is going to be wealthy if you do not invest.
That's a part of it right there, God. The lack of consideration, where for the most part people are trying to be Warren Buffett, and it's Warren Buffett or nothing.
Yeah, like that's
right?
dumb.
And that's dumb.
That's
Because
dumb.
there's a whole lot of people before Warren Buffett that's killing it. That I could be one of those people, right?
Exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly. I mean, if you use AT&T, you use T-Mobile, like your cell phone, like it's so much stuff that you can buy. And if you look in your cupboard and you see all the stuff that you buy at the grocery store, the brands that you buy, you can go and own those companies, right? Go in your Cash App. You can spend 50 cents today and own a share, and you can just start piling it up and piling it up. But don't look at it every single day like, I'm going to get rich. I'm about to be this. No, just let it stack up. And if you get older, trust and believe. People look at me, why you don't got to work? Why you don't worried about pocket watching, worried about what? Because I did the same shit that I'm suggesting. Over 20 years. So it works. Compound dividends. Buy stuff that pays dividends. Buy stuff that other people use. Yeah, I don't eat McDonald's, but I own McDonald's. Just because I don't eat there, don't mean I don't have to own it. Everybody else going there. So it's like, these are common things. Kellogg's, I don't even eat cereal. But I own General Mills and Kellogg's. I smoke, so I own Philip Morris. And British Tobacco. So you got to look at these things that you see other people use, and daily stuff that you just see people using. It don't have to be, oh, I'm trying to buy Nvidia or this next thing that's about to boom, so I'm gonna spend this. Let me put this $1,000 on it because hopefully it's gonna turn into 10 million for me overnight.
Because if it's not Nvidia, it don't count.
Yeah, like, come on.
If it's not 1,000 to 10 million, it don't count.
And I'm gonna drop a jewel before we go into this next video. I'm gonna tell you, any investments you have right now, in any type of precious metals or rare earth minerals are going up. Pay attention to geopolitics. It's going up. Pay attention to central banking and what they doing. It's going up. It's going up. ETFs, gold ETFs, silver, platinum, palladium, rare earth minerals, they going up. Okay? Or don't. You know what I'm saying? Or don't. And you don't need whatchamacallit to do that. You don't need a 401k to do that. You know, do that with your 401k. You know, but Roth your 401k, people. Trust me. If you don't, then you're going to be disappointed, and it's only going to be your fault at the end of it.
It was a bill causing a lot of controversy on the Assembly floor this year, and now it's signed into law by Governor Gavin Newsom. Starting January 1st, prostitution of those 3 years younger than the age of 18 will now be considered a felony. Sacramento Sheriff Jim Cooper has been a vocal supporter of the bill since it started and says in part, this is a major step forward for public safety and protecting our children. The sheriff's office has conducted multiple operations to address sex trafficking and says this new law will help their enforcement.
The biggest thing is now are the penalties that go along with it. This won't simply be a misdemeanor where they get a ticket and go off on their way.
I was very grateful the legislature took the leadership, made some amendments, worked across party lines to get that bill on my desk, and I was honored to sign it.
The law will take effect January 1st, and when it will also require those convicted to complete a program on human trafficking and make it a misdemeanor for anyone to loiter in any public places with the intent to buy commercial sex. An additional fine of $1,000 could also be required of anyone convicted, and that money would go towards the Survivor Support Fund.
I'm confused, God. So what did they say that until this law, sex with a 15-year-old was a misdemeanor? With a prostitution with a 15-year-old was just a misdemeanor? Like, is that what that said? Like,
they were saying that if they got if the person that was acting as a minor who was out there prostituting themselves, it was a misdemeanor.
now they're getting a felony charge.
Now they're getting a felony charge.
Okay.
You know, so that shit is crazy because it's just like, why aren't they getting the help they need to find out why is this child out here selling their body?
So that whole thing was, you sure that was about locking up the kid?
Well, it didn't say just locking them up.
I'm just saying, but like that was all about prosecuting. That was all about them. Like,
well, they did say that the person soliciting, you know, where they did say that there was going to be a fine and everything. We could run it back. You want to run it back?
Because I'm asking this question because Diddy's in jail right now for prostitution, and he's looking at 10 years, and I'm trying to understand
he's looking at for paying for sex, but he's not looking at 10 years. That's false.
I thought that's what they said.
No. Diddy is only looking at his max he can get is 27 months.
Oh.
Yeah, 27 to like 40 something. It's not even, it's like 3 or 4 years, like max.
He probably did that already.
And he's not going to do no more time. But when he get out, he's in programs and stuff, and he's going to be able to get out and come home. Diddy coming home, man. Like he already did time served. They're going to give him time served. By the time he's sitting there till October, and he's done the classes and everything, they'll add some of that off his time.
Word.
And yeah, like I could see him At worst case, maybe he do 6 more months. You know, maybe they don't let him home for Christmas and everything. They let him home after the new year. So they just like, nah, you're gonna sit in here until through Thanksgiving, Christmas, and the new year, but then he's home for the spring. Max.
Then that really don't make sense. How could the person buying ass get more time than the person selling it?
Well, this is a minor, you know. This is a minor.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
This is a minor. So the fact that they even charging minors as felons.
Period. Like, because that kid is in trouble. Like they're a troubled child.
Right.
That's why they're out in the streets, right? They need help. They need a hug.
Yeah,
they need a support system.
Yes, they need a support system. You know, they need some responsible and accountable, and they need some consideration. They need some compassionate care. And let's run it back one time though.
This year, and now it's signed into law by Governor Gavin Newsom. Starting January 1st, prostitution of those 3 years younger than the age of 18 will now be considered a felony. Sacramento Sheriff Jim Cooper has been.
Prostitution of those younger than the age of 18 will be considered a felony.
Yeah.
A vocal supporter of the bill since it started, and says in part, this is a major step forward for public safety and protecting our children. The sheriff's office has conducted multiple operations to address sex trafficking and says this new law will help their enforcement.
The biggest thing is now are the penalties that go along with it. This won't simply be a misdemeanor where they get a ticket and go off on their way.
I was very grateful the legislature took the leadership, made some amendments, worked across party lines to get that bill on my desk, and I was honored to sign it.
The law will take effect January 1st, and it will also require those convicted to complete a program on human trafficking and make it a misdemeanor for anyone to loiter in any public places with the intent to buy commercial sex. An additional fine of $1,000 could also be required of anyone convicted, and that money would go towards the Survivor Support Fund.
So the tricks get hit with loitering.
The trick get hit with a misdemeanor loitering charge and maybe $1,000 fine. But the child, the victim gets hit with a felony charge. Now, if they complete the course or whatever, well, that it didn't even say, because that was the trick, the John. That was the John, right?
That's sad, man.
And he was the governor was happy to sign the bill.
Yeah, like what was he happy about, right? Like so oh man. That was terrible.
Oh man. Where you know, God, I'm just like yeah, man. Whoa, mercy, mercy me.
we had to play that back, so that shit was crazy.
This shit crazy, for real. Like, we talking about thoughtful and sympathetic regard.
This is no consideration, bro. Like, this is no consideration. This is a total lack of consideration for
child.
Public, for the child, for all humans, for the future of humans, right? Like, man, there's no more children. There are no more victims. There's only bullies and the things that bullies do and the things that the people that bullies do them to. Like, they don't even get to be called victims, because if you cry, or if you even if you, I don't know, man, that's crazy. John get $1,000 fine, but Shorty get a whole felony. She get an F on her chest, huh? And they got to take a human trafficking class.
And before it was just a misdemeanor and they on their way.
Yeah.
They back to the trap. So how was that helping? That was just encouraging. I'm young, so I might as well go ahead and get it in now because it ain't nothing but a misdemeanor. So I can go ahead and just keep on stacking this paper, you know.
It seems like those should be the people that's getting the Section 8 and that's getting all the food stamps and stuff like that. Like the people that the police see on the street selling their ass, like snatch them up, take them from their pimp, put them into this other program, get them pimped by the government, right? Give them a house, give them the stuff that they need to thrive and survive. But instead, we hit them with felonies, and I don't like that, man. I don't know, because the 15, they need help. She needs help. They need help, bro. She out there selling box for money. That means she needs help.
I agree, God. Like it's just sad. It's just sad. A whole 100%. And I was just like, man, this shit is wild. That now babies 7 to 18 and under, with 18 you adult, but baby 17 and under. Okay. And even at 18, you still a baby, you still somebody baby, but you ain't lived long enough to know a whole lot. Okay. I've been there, done that. Ain't no shit. So it's just like in this particular situation, like where's the consideration? Like, and they had, my man said he was proud to sign the bill to give minors felonies.
How does that help?
And a sex trafficking class. No other rehabilitation. No other resources.
The Johns don't even have to take the sex trafficking class.
No, they might pay a fine, but they'll be back tricking on the other side of town somewhere else. Where
those are your sex traffickers, like those are your clients. Those are the reason for the season. Like, come on, son. Like, oh man.
Yeah, but they not. But see, they not trafficking. That's not trafficking.
That's why I said they're the reason for the season. They're not.
Right.
They're not.
They enabling the traffickers.
They're
enabling the prostitutes to be able to have someone to prostitute with. It's fucked up now. So, if anybody out there knows some young people that's out there in that life, man, get them some help. Help them out, talk to them, try to get them to have a better perspective on life, and you share some resources with them, because it's sad. It's sad that it was a misdemeanor, and it was just, you could just keep getting a smack on the wrist. Oh, you too young to know better. Like,
yo, God, you know why you saying it was real rap? Because even though it was a misdemeanor before they can get help, kinda, right? They were still looked at as kind of like victims and still needed help, but now they are looked at as criminals. Like they're the bad guys.
Yeah.
They don't deserve any help. They don't deserve any empathy. Who cares about their story? Who cares how they got out there? Who cares that they're 15 years old or younger? Who cares? That's awful.
Yeah. Land of the free, home of the brave.
y'all getting married to stay here?
Everybody want to come here, man. That's the type of shit going on, like what you trying to say, man,
I never understood
it. There are some good things, but
definitely that.
But I mean, but that's what we dealing with. That's the reality, and I know people don't be paying attention to that.
That's huge.
Yep. Yep. So
you've just been Flavor Bomb, and now back to our show.
So if you are just joining us tonight, y'all, make sure to like and share the video. We appreciate it. It's the freest way you can support our channel, and it helps us get our content out to other viewers like yourself. We are smoking on the word consideration, and we are going into our third question of the evening. What are some ways a person can demonstrate consideration in daily life? Let us know in the comment section what you think are some ways that a person can demonstrate consideration in daily life, or maybe if they have, share your experiences. You know, we like to know, and we respond to all the comments in the chat. So the God Ali Dawood El at BK Soul Farm. What are some ways a person can demonstrate consideration in daily life, God?
Peace. So you remember
Peace.
that movie? I think it was called Finding Forrester with Sean Connery, and it was a scene in there. It was like the basketball movie. Shorty was asking him a bunch of questions, and Sean Connery was like, "Yo, is that a soup question?" And he was like, "That's not a soup question." And dude was like Jamal. He was like, "What's a soup question?" Right? He's like, "Soup question. Like, is your question gonna add to the soup that we're cooking that is gonna benefit our palate, is gonna benefit our belly? Our bellies is gonna be nutritious. Is it gonna add flavor? Like, is what you're talking about helpful, or is it gonna take away from the soup?" Right? If we're making soup, right, the conversation needs to be focused around soup, right? If you start talking about pizza and we're making soup, it's kind of irrelevant and it's kind of a waste of time. So one of the things that we can do is practice asking soup questions and having soup opinions or soup thoughts, right? Make them value added and impactful. Make them flavorful, right? And if they're not, then keep it to yourself, right? Like make a video, put it on social media, and see how many people think it was just as jazzy as you thought it was jazzy, right? That's I don't know. I think that's for me. Like that's like the biggest thing, man. Like because I find that like I hate people that just walk up to me and just ask me a question randomly and expect that because they asked me the question that I have to answer them.
Like,
Right?
give me an example, God.
I can't think of one right now, but it's just like
what if somebody asked you, just walked up to you, like,
just like
let me just ask this.
I don't know, man. Just a bunch of random ass stuff, and I just don't think that you're entitled to that, right? I think that your question deserves to be weighed. Like, is there value taking my time to answer this question to you? Right? Are you about to be a new customer? Right? Or are you like what are you doing? What are you doing?
You talking about in relation to your business?
Relation to my business, just I don't like it in general, period, right? I don't like that's my issue with the Karens, right? Because I don't see them as concerned citizens. I see them as like you just asking me questions because you feel like you can because you got a mouth and a voice box, right? And I'm saying like
I like that.
And I gotta respond because I heard you. I'm saying no, I don't. Right? Like and that's ultimately my biggest beef, right? Like the audacity that because you called my name, I have to respond. Like, ain't that your name? Like, so what? Right? Like just cause you called me don't mean I gotta turn around and talk to you. Right? I have the right to ignore your ass and keep on moving. Right? Respect the fact that
Big Pisces energy. Big Pisces energy, like I don't know you.
Oh no, you son. What are you talking to me for, man? All right, that's what I think, man. I think we if we ask more soup questions and have more soup thoughts and opinions, it wouldn't feel so offensive and it wouldn't feel so combative when we having conversation. It wouldn't even necessarily feel like a debate necessarily, right? Because everybody we be building,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, yo, so, add this a little bit. Hey, try a little bit of this. Hey, you know what I mean? Like, hey, taste the sauce now. See, you know what I mean? Like it's like we all throwing in,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's what I think, man. Just more soup questions and soup thoughts is something that we need to have more buy-in.
No doubt. I gotta get some free time so I can check that movie out. because
that line was impactful to me and my wife, bro. We held on to that for a long time.
Making soup, right? Yeah. Well, I definitely agree with the analogy, because wasted conversation is just, it's one of them things you just have to have time for. I think I always make it my effort to ask people how their day is going when I engage people.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know if it's some cool shit, I think, but I think that a lot of people don't get asked how their day is going,
Sincerely.
Yeah, like sincerely, because I don't do it to just be like, how your day going? And then it'd be like, well, you know what, man, I'm going through blah, 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 to be like, oh, okay, cool. All right, yeah. I listen, like
because ain't nothing worse than somebody asking you how your day's doing, you about to talk, and they didn't really want to know anyway. It's like, why you ask me for?
Right, like it's just slick shit. Like, yeah, how your day going? Okay, yeah, nah, I ask people that, and I mean it. Like, if you got some shit to say, because you never know, I might be the only person that they got to talk to that day to actually express what they was going through. Like, damn, somebody gave a fuck about how I felt about, because you might have been at work, your boss was just telling you shit to do. You get home, the kids just want shit from you. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't nobody who asks you, how your day going? How you feeling? And then when they ask, hey, you know what? I woke up this morning, so we're gonna do something positive and productive, and we just try and keep it peaceful, thankful for that. Blah, blah, blah. I might even go into, depending on how we might just stand there and have a conversation. Shit, I've been working on the house. I've been to Home Depot about 2-3 times a day and ripping and running and stuff. And, and if it goes any further, I don't mind it going any further, because that lets me know right there. And we talking about how people can be more considerate. I think that is an action that I do when I do that, to be considerate of others in my daily life, because people don't ask people, how you feeling? How you doing? How your day going?
And want to answer.
And genuinely don't mind stopping to have the conversation if you want to share.
You got to say that part, God, because a lot of people ask the questions, they say the words, and when you get down to to actually start talking to them, you see their eyes go dead. Like, they're still looking at you, but they ain't got the same vigor and the same excitement or engagement. Right? It's like, hurry up, finish it.
Yeah. And I don't. I just listen, because it's probably like, you know what? They might tell me something that I might learn something.
Mm-hmm.
And what is it wrong in my spirit to just, like, I'm fortunate that I have time to do that. I'm thankful that, like, I don't have to go and rip and run. And when I'm ripping and running, I'm ripping and running. I got something to do. Trust me, I ain't really talking to nobody. I'm just, I'm on that. I'm on that. What you talking about? On that Pisces energy where I'm swimming the fire. Look, I'm in swim right now. Okay, I'm in stride. I'm in this wave. I'm catching this wave. So, you know, y'all gonna have to get me when I come on the shore and catch some air. You know, big whale activity.
Hell yeah.
You know, but just doing small things like that. Like, to me, that's a small thing. Because I don't give money to homeless people, you know. Well, let me say this, to people begging on the corner. I don't give money to people begging on the corner, especially if I see you on the same corner. Like, then what I know is that you have the ability and the mindset to do something with some self-determination, because you on that same corner all the time doing the same thing. So just because you are only using that energy to do that, then what I'm considering is that you do have the discipline to apply that in something else. You just choosing not to. So I'm choosing not to give you none of my money. And I don't miss no blessings for that. But doing things like just small things. I think it's the real small things that sometimes we don't have to do, that maybe other people look at and be like, well, why you do that? You know, or people be like, well, I wouldn't have did that. You know, but I'm not trying to be like you. You know, I can only be myself. And if it was wrong, then guess what? I accept accountability for my wrong. I'll learn from it. I won't make the same mistake twice. You know? So I think that's something that can help people be more considerate in their daily life, is desiring not to make the same mistakes twice, is desiring to not let a loss or defeat be a death, but more of a birth to a learning lesson, to be in self-improvement, to being better. I think that trying to just do the small things, just saying, like, just being mindful, like, was I helpful? Am I helpful in what I'm doing? Is it like what you said with the soup thing? Like, is it adding value? Will it help? You do, and you don't know until you do these things. Like, you don't, you know, it's all like all a learning lesson. So you could do something kind for somebody and they could not appreciate it. And then you can learn, okay, I won't do shit kind for you no more. You know, or you can do something kind and they could reciprocate. And then you could be like, okay, we on the same frequency. So I think just putting, like what we was talking about earlier in the beginning of the show, when we were saying, putting that careful thought into things, was starting with yourself first, with your actions first, you know, and hey, players fuck up, but you got to learn from your mistakes. If not, then you're bound to repeat them. And you have to admit that you know, you have to be willing to have some humility about yourself to say, I made a mistake. Not everything I do is fuck it, whatever. I'm right, even when I'm wrong. I'm wrong, even when I'm right type, you know, nigga logic. You know, because life is going to be very tough and very difficult. And what Josephus said right here. No good deed goes unpunished. No good deed goes unpunished. You know, now that shit sound like some trick knowledge, Josephus. But no bad deed gets unpunished. You know, because I ain't never been punished for a good deed. You know. Yeah. I ain't yeah, that's what the unpunished mean. You don't get punishment, right? That means no punishment. Right? So I definitely all good deeds, you know. And you know what? On that comment, like I don't even look at it like a good deed, man. Like once you start doing once this your character, this is who you want to be in life, like then it ain't even a deed, that's just who you are. And that's something that you, because you're not trying to do it, you know, like it's natural now. You know, I find myself in casual conversation, like it don't matter who the person is. If I'm checking out at the store, if I, you know, I always, if I'm spoken to, you know, I do that. If somebody speak to me, hey, so and so, you know, say, hey, how your day going? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just natural. You know, it ain't trying to pry, like, and it ain't even prying. Like, I don't, because I mind my fucking business, you know. But everybody don't have somebody that's considerate, that's willing to ask the person a question about how they're feeling, how what they dealing with, you know. And that people are not obligated to share anything. They can share whatever they want. But I think that if we, you know, as humans, think about that first. Think about what we do. Think that the guy was saying that earlier, thinking about what you do first, thinking about who threw the first punch, you know, thinking about who threw the first love versus throwing the first punch. What about throwing the first love? You know, what if punches have been thrown and then you throw the first love? After the punches, because you be like, you know what? I ain't die. I ain't bleeding. I ain't knotted up. I ain't in the cast. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? My wounds have healed. I'm gonna throw some love your way because guess what? I don't even want to fight for real. I ain't want to fight the first time. So that's how I think that we can get some demonstrate some more consideration in daily life. So we have been smoking on the word consideration, y'all. Make sure to like the video. We appreciate y'all. It's free. Helps us get the content out to other viewers like yourself. We have been answering and exchanging insights tonight with our questions. The first one was, what do you think of when you hear the word consideration? Let us know in the comment section. Leave a comment below and let us know. Our second question was, what are some common misconceptions about consideration? Let us know if you think there are some common misconceptions about it. We are interested to know what you think, to know your insights on it. And our third question, what are some ways a person can demonstrate consideration in daily life? We would also like to know your thoughts. And our final question of the evening is, with the God, Ali Dawud at BK Soul Farm, is the word consideration bad, good, or misunderstood?
Personally, I love the word. Is a good word. Definition wise, right? Everything about the word. I didn't see nothing in the definition that was suspect or even allow for room for suspect behavior or activity, right? Everything seemed like it called for above board, above character behavior and accountability and stuff. That being said, I do think that it is grossly misunderstood to everybody else. I think I think us in the dictionary now know the definition of the word.
Yeah, guys.
And we've been and before we even went to the definition, I think we've been using the word correctly, right? From our hearts, right? And yeah, I think based on question number 2, and it's misunderstood greatly. Like I said, people already think that they are being considerate in the first place. Hardly anybody's thinking about throwing out the first love, right?
Right.
Because there still is love here, right? There still is. We ain't throw each other away yet, right?
No, we still breathing.
Yeah, right. So yeah. Nah, I like the word. I think the word is defined correctly. I think that I do think that we as humans, though, yeah, and because it's not taught morally in a great way, like like we're confused by it, right? So it's misunderstood by many of us.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I'm a co-sign that. I'm a co-sign that, God. I do subscribe to the idea that consideration is a fantastic, phenomenal word. It is good. If it is applied correctly, if it is valued, if it is of your personal value. And but the misunderstood part is just a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Everything you said and more, as far in relation to it being misunderstood, because it opened my eyes today through this conversation, just actually putting my eyes on the definition and then being able to reflect, since reflection is a part of the definition, and see where it's like, wow, okay, an opinion obtained by reflection. And the only thing it was missing was self, so it really allowed me to be able to see, like, okay, am I doing these things? And that's why we say to everybody, that tunes into the show, y'all, that we not perfect and we don't be knowing these words either. A lot of times we just are really learning the definition of these words. We have these meanings that, just like we regular people like everybody else, we have these meanings and we go with it, but we try to convene and learn and build, and hopefully it helps someone. Hopefully there's some value in learning these definitions and how you can apply them to your life, because that's what we do with it. We just try to make sure, hey, okay, our meaning was right, the definition lines up, we're gonna keep on shining, we're gonna keep on applying it the way we need to apply it. And man, another great conversation with the God Ali Dawood El.
Or we messed up, God.
Or we messed up, yeah. Or we messed up and need to get it right. That's true. That's true, yeah. Yeah, because sometimes, sometimes we don't have it right. So we need the refresher so we can know how to properly apply it. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's right. That's that balance.
Yeah.
That's that balance for sure. So yeah, so we want to thank everybody for pulling up this evening. Once again, make sure to like and share the video. Also, Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so when we go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays Live. We want you all to have a peaceful, positive, and productive start to your week. And make sure to tune in here each and every Sunday at 8 p.m. East Coast time with myself, Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV, and the God Ali Dawood El at BK Soul Farm. We are the Cigarden Panel. Peace, God.
Peace, God.
This whole publication is all about going from nowhere to somewhere, right? Being able to stand on something so that you can travel in peace, right? So bksoulfarm.com, 1016-160 self-sustainability. Jump on the list and get yourself together, right? Because it is irresponsible to not even know what responsibility means. So get yourself together, food, clothing, and shelter, protection of that, support your interests, and live.
Exchange insights Sundays at 8 p.m. East Coast time with the Cigarden Panel. Smoking on words like two big nerds. Hosted by DBCHEFTV and BK Soul Farm at Cigar Sundays on YouTube. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so when they go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays Live. Sign up for the newsletter and shop merch and clothing at www.dbcheftv.com.